Hello everyone and welcome back to Sudden Wealth. I hope you guys are doing very well. If you do enjoy the content, please consider dropping that a like and subscribe. I apologize for not posting in the last couple of days. As I told you guys, I have family here, so it's very crowded. And also it's also good to disconnect a little bit from the market. But I think it's important because certain things have happened, and it's important that I come here and that I make a video also addressing this. And my plan is after Christmas, so somewhere probably around 27, 28, I don't know. I'll make a video with my predictions for 2025. So as you guys know, I have certain ideas about the market that I consider much more important than others. So one of the predictions that I had was Ethereum to be above 5,000 before the end of the year, or maximum by mid January. Now I think mid January is still in play. I think end of the year, a little bit difficult. I think Powell may have screwed me there, but that's one of the risks that I took. But in my view, that prediction is less important than having the cycle for 2025. Why? Let's say that we get to mid-January and Ethereum is 4,400, for example. And let's say that by the first week of February is 5,100. Okay, was I wrong? Yes. Does it make a big difference in the great scheme of things? No, really. Same thing with, did I get right the fact that after the halving there was going to be a correction in which Bitcoin was going to go somewhere between 47 and 52,000 like it did in August 5, although I said by 19th of July, but it happened in August 5 where Bitcoin touched 48k. Does that matter? Not really. What matters more is, will Bitcoin get to 242,000 or 200, somewhere between 242,000 and 276,000 around late September, early October 2025. See what I mean? That is much more important than what I'm trying to say is I can get all these shorter term predictions correct, but if I get the overall cycle wrong, that doesn't matter. The same way on the other side, I can get the Ethereum prediction wrong. That's fine as long as I get the ultimate Ethereum prediction right. See what I mean? So that's valid for anything, either in my favor or against me. Both cases are valid. Now, what am I seeing today? TLT is still down 1% or close to 1%. That part is the part that I really don't like. The dollar is very strong at 108. Look, between 103, 4 and between 95 to 105, let's say. I think that part is good. I think if we go below it, that means you're probably getting to the top because we are hitting the max liquidity in the dollar. And if it goes above it, so 110, 120, 115, etc., it's putting a lot of strain in the financial system for other countries. And then it affects also their liquidity, if that makes sense. But I will cover that a little bit in my next video, so the one that I will make the predictions for 2025. I've said this many times before. If Trump would win, we would get a 2016, 2017 kind of cycle. If she won, we would have gotten something like 2020, 2021. I've said this ad nauseum throughout the months before the. I think between July and November 5th, I may have said that at least 45, 50 times. So nothing has changed in that thing. I still think we're going to get 2016, 2017 kind of cycle, particularly because it's so pro-crypto. But in any case, between now and then, you're going to see a lot of corrections, particularly in altcoins. So altcoins can easily correct 50, 65, 70%. So I'm going to give you this example, right? Andy went from 360 million to 175 million. That's a 50-55% correction. Now it's back to 225 or so. Hoppy went from 14 million to 140 million, so that's a 10x, and that's now corrected to the low 40s, so that's about a 65-67% correction. And now it's making its way back to 40, somewhere between 45-50 million. Boppy went below 100k and went as high as 3 point something million, and is now corrected into even to 500k. Now we've pushed into 2.2 million, and now we're corrected to 1.1, 1.2 million. This is all normal. There's nothing special about this. There's nothing different about this. It's all about the same as we've seen before. What I'm trying to say is that the bull market will have moves like this. People forget that even in 2020, Hex did in December 2020, X did a 50% correction like in a day or something. But then it went up to do a 300x or something like that. So what I'm trying to say is that these things will happen, particularly in altcoins is even worse. But even in Bitcoin, you can have 15, 20, 25% corrections. It's nothing outrageous, let's say. The good part is that you'll see Peter Schiff celebrating, which means that will probably be that local bottom. So Bitcoin's about 93k, 93.5. Ethereum is a little bit above 3,300, so showing a little bit of relative strength, if you will. So in that sense, nothing is really that different. We've hit 108k, like, I don't know, 10 days ago or so. So we are making our way into the cycle. If we do, 2025 is the key part of the cycle. I do think, I'm mixing a little bit the video that I wanted to make, but I do think there's about a 30% probability that most altcoins peak somewhere in late March, early April 2025. But I do think probably what's going to happen, this is my 70% chance, and I will apply my exit strategy accordingly, is that you're going to see, I think, double altcoin season bubble, a little bit like 2017. So what I'm expecting is that we do push into late March or so, early April. We have a sell-off. We have a sell-off throughout the summer. We go up again. Bitcoin makes a new all-time high, somewhere between. I always said late September, first half of October 2025. I'm gonna say the week of 4 to 11 of October 2025. If you make me guess, I would say either the 6th of October or the 11th of October is going to be the top. If that is indeed the case, I'll tell you my secret afterwards. Then we have a bit of a sell-off. November seems like we're going to make a new all-time high, but we don't quite make it. Then we sell off again. So we have the peak, sell-off, complacency rally, and then we start to sell off. And here at the end, so November, December, maybe a little bit into January, you have a big altcoin season. What you need at that moment for that to happen is you need a narrative explaining why this time the cycle will be broken, and this time we will not have a bear market in 2026. And you need the consensus to be, there's not going to be a bear market in 2026. Maybe we sell off 30% at the worst case, but that's going to be about it. So that's what you need. And then you need a very strong reason why. The governments will not let it go down. The US will go all in crypto, blah, blah, blah. What matters the most is that once again, fundamentals are being put in place right now that will justify the price of the future. Such as the UAE owns $40 billion in Bitcoin and growing. The Saudis are starting to accumulate as well. Russia is passing legislation as fast as they can to make Bitcoin digital property so they can hold the reserve of it. China, via Hong Kong, doing something similar. The US, obviously, everybody's aware of Trump is buying altcoins even, right? Wallets associated with him. So the writing is on the wall. But what is missing is the fat green candles. We already had very good, 93, 94, 95, 100. All of this is already quite a crazy price. What I'm saying is, I think a lot of people in the market need to see the really breakthrough of a plus 100 plus, maybe go back a little bit and just shoot up, and don't come back to 100k in the short term. That's my feeling. But in any case, I will, in my next video, the video that I'm going to do after today, I will go in very detailed analysis on how I expect the final year of the cycle to play. Because then in 2026, if we do have the bear market, as I do expect us to have, bear market is easy. If Bitcoin is down more than 50%, you start accumulating a little bit of Bitcoin every week. Doesn't matter which time you buy. probably it's going to be a good price. What you should, what I think about is it down more than 50% and has at least 300 days passed from the top? If that's the case, accumulate at any price will probably be a good idea. Not financial advice, is just what I've observed in all the previous cycles. Now, here we go to the meat of the bone of the video. This is very well known now, so there's no point in cutting short. Richard Hart, so the founder of Pulsechain and Pulsechain incentive token, and X, has been put on the list by Interpol in terms of being wanted for assault and tax evasion, right, in Finland. Now, the tax evasion is, when I found out that he lived in Finland, I thought, because I know a bit about the Nordic countries, right? The Nordic countries are very capitalist when you're creating wealth. But as soon as, meaning that, for example, if you actually compare the US and the Nordics, like Norway, Finland, Sweden, etc., it's actually easier to build a business in those countries. You need much less licenses. The barriers to start, in terms of also financial barriers, are much lower. And they're actually quite business friendly. That's why those countries are actually very rich. But then, as soon as, this is the funny part, as soon as the money enters your bank account, it becomes a socialist country, or they become socialist countries. So huge taxes, and you're talking 50% or close to 50% in the middle class. Really, really bad. Now, I'm not going to pretend that I know the Finnish laws around taxation in terms of crypto. I have no idea. What I would say to Finland is, if the SEC case drops, which seems very likely in the next 30 days or so, and the SEC fails to prove jurisdiction of the projects, good luck in Finland doing the same in order to tax an individual for sacrifice point. A lot of luck is going to be needed, particularly because the lawyer team of Richard is the same as Elon Musk. Elon Musk is very close to Trump. So the only thing that he needs to do is say, hey, there's an American citizen here that basically went toe-to-toe with the SEC, which Elon Musk hates. And Finland is trying to say that somehow part of Ethereum belongs to Finland. What do you think about that, Trump? Do you think 30% of the Ethereum chain belongs to Finland? Do you think he's going to let it slide? Because he can also say, why would you? Because if the transactions are passing through 20 countries as they filter through the nodes, so now these 20 countries have access to taxes. This is the problem, you see. This is why if the SEC case, the rest of the situations fall. Now, the assault part, I have no idea. Look, the only thing that I've noticed, and I've seen already this close this, he supposedly beat up someone to a pulp out of nowhere, right? However, he was streaming almost around the same time that the accusation came out, and he has no evidence on this. Like, he supposedly, if you read the accusation, he beat a person to a pulp. However, his hands are all clean and nice around the same day or same days that he supposedly beat up these people, this person. I don't know. Look, I'm not there. I'm not going to pretend, it's all. I don't know, right? The point is, and this is the only part that I control, is the reason why I like the ecosystem is much more driven by the fundamentals of the ecosystem and the quality of the coins and the lack of VCs and the influencers not being paid and the cultish community. That, to me, is what really matters the most. Now, I've seen very weird things against founders. So, for example, CZ, the founder of Binance, was at some point accused of facilitating terrorism financing and a type of activities of a sexual nature. Please help me with the algo, involving underage people. And he went to jail for 4 months. Now, this is the founder of BNB, the 4th or 5th largest coin on the planet and the 2nd largest exchange on the planet, or first. At the time, I think it was the largest exchange on the planet. Then the founder of Telegram, just arrested. Julian Assange was accused of doing something to a girl, really, really bad. And, actually, that was all a lie. Sorry about that. President Trump was supposed to be a violent sex offender and all of these things. And Andrew Tate was also, I think, his case after 3 years of imprisonment, doing all sorts of things to him. Apparently, now the case is dismissed. It doesn't even go to trial. That's my understanding, because of lack of evidence. So it's a bit sad to see, actually, and I've said this many times before, which is other communities in crypto celebrating this accusation. And I've said this before. I don't like XRP. I have a lot of things that I don't like about it. However, every time they were winning cases against the SEC and the likes, I cheer, I celebrate. Because one thing is when we are fighting between our preferred cryptos. So I like this crypto, I like that crypto, I like the others. The other thing is when you're fighting outside forces. You see, Richard may be the founder of your coin, of the coins that you hold in the future, and he gets the same treatment. See what I mean? So there's very little point in celebrating the misfortunes of others in this sense. However, a couple of things that were actually very bullish. Number one, as I said before here in the video, it's very weird. I mean, it's almost uncanny that as of 2020, December 2020, X also had its final 50% or one of basically big 50% drawdown, almost to the day of this one, right? And then it did what it did, right? At 300X or something like that. So almost to the day, same kind of stuff. So the same thing happened, the story has changed. See what I mean? Then another thing, very curious, is we sold down during, because I didn't even pay attention to this because I was asleep and then I went for Christmas shopping. I didn't see this for a long time. And basically we dropped, so X, Pulsechain, Pulsex, incentive token, etc., dropped 50% plus in a few hours. By now, even with Bitcoin a little bit teetering around the 93.5K mark, Ethereum is not doing that great, meaning the market in general is not very hot at the moment. And the majority of the drop has already been recovered. I think we are a 15% away or so to be before the FUD news has come out, which is actually very positive. These things, as I've said before, this tells me that the weak hands, the non-believers, are almost all out. Probably they are now all out. Because this is the type of thing that it would take 6 months to recover in the past, maybe. And now, not even 48 hours later, and with not very good market conditions, we are around 14% away from recovering the entirety of that move down. So that tells me that we have now a much bigger percentage of believers than we used to have before. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is, as you guys know, Pulsechain, Pulsex, X, Hedron, Icosa, and Incentive Token are what I call my retirement coins. And I have to say that after I've seen this recovery and the community stronger and more active than ever, actually reinforces my belief. Now, should you go and copy me? No, that's not the point. But as you guys know, I talk about my preferred coins when it's hard to do so. See, I could just sit down, don't say anything, wait for a 10x and come here, ha 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 ha, I'm such a smart guy, right? But I don't do it. I disclose my coins during the SEC targeting the projects. I disclose my coins during that time, the bottom. Now I came here after a massive correction, after that news event came out, and I reinforced that those are my retirement coins. So my retirement coins is, because this is also questioned by someone in the commentary, is Pulse, Pulsex, Hedron, and Icosa, both on both chains, Ethereum and X, both on Ethereum and on Pulsechain. Then I have lottery tickets in the Pulsechain ecosystem like PulseSpot, Pulse Launch, 7G, and PDAI. And I have lottery tickets in the Ethereum chain like ETHGuy, Andy. Andy I got in at 1.5 million market cap. Hoppy, which I got in at around the million market cap. Boppy, in which my average cost is 550k market cap, and I'm missing one, I think. I have a little bit of Matt, maybe like $100. Matt Fury, the coin as well. Am I missing something? I don't think so. Yeah, I think those are the ones that I have. Somebody asked me about this the other time. So I do think that in the next month the SEC case is going to be resolved, which means the tax evasion case also becomes much less important. In my view, the SEC case is the most important because it targets the projects and not necessarily Richard himself. Richard eventually, I don't know if people are aware of this, but eventually Richard will step away from his projects like Satoshi did. Because the point of them is they are true DeFi. They are supposed to run without anyone. If he goes to jail, if he dies, if he goes to the Maldives forever, the projects will do the same thing. They will, Pulse will will be validated the same way. Pulsex will buy and burn the tokens the same way, and Hex will be possible to stake and earn yield just like it is today. There's no one working for you. That was always the point. But in any case, I am actually quite bullish, particularly on the recovery part. I think 2025 is going to be a very strong year. It's going to be a very difficult year, as I've said before, because things are really going to move fast. And if this is something like December, like 2017, then 2025 is going to be a really fast year, and it's going to be extremely easy for you to be left behind. And with that, thank you very much, guys. Don't forget to enjoy Christmas with your family, enjoy the holidays if you're not Christian or Catholic or whatever. Enjoy some time with the family, relax, touch some grass, grab a little bit of sun if you can, eat a lot, go a little bit to the gym also if you can. And if you guys are working, like I'm still working, by the way. I worked until very late today. I wish you all the best. And with that, guys, thank you very much for your support. By the way, as I've said before, I'll say 1,000 times, I am broadcasting my journey into what I hope to be financial independence. I have zero interest that you copy me. I'm not trying to entice you to copy me. That's why I don't do what the other YouTubers do, and I'm not here selling you anything. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I go down, I go down. Me, not everyone else. And with that, thank you very much for your support, guys. Catch you in the next one.